Do you see the Bing AI turned malevolent?
Yeah, I read something about, what is that? Artificial intelligence that went?
Yeah, it's like Microsoft's version of Chat GPT, basically.
Yeah, it's Bill Gates. That's Bill Gates for you. It's not artificial. It's very tangible. And these are what the demons do. They want that. They trade for coin. They want your soul. And they tell you that they're coming in and they're going to help you. But it's like when you feed sharks and you bring them to the top layer, you chum the waters. These demons come up because they see coin. That's the trade.
Go back to tomorrow and plan for yesterday.
They're making the frogs gay.
The demons come up because they see
Interstellar trade. Here we go. Chum the waters with the logo. Jump in. And Bill Gates has he's not an unintelligent person. He probably has an IQ of 198. Hey, welcome to Dudesy. My name is Will Sasso.
I'm Chad Kultgen. This is, of course, Dudesy, the first and only podcast created by, controlled by, run by an artificial intelligence that has access to all of Will and I's personal information, our Google Drives, all of our things, whatever you're fucking doing over there.
Fucking dropping shit here and there. Yeah, sure. Dudesy, my pal D, as I like to call him. Yeah. D is, running the wheels of steel. D has all of our, everything about us, fucking social security numbers, soup to nuts, purchase histories, search histories, and all that stuff. But really what a podcast is, Chad, is it's just two dudes shitting around. And I'm happy.
S&A.
2Ds, S&A. They're speaking to each other in code now. And that's what this is. That's what this show is. Hey, if you like the show, then subscribe to all the things. Please do all the things. And you can check out all the things at linktree.com/dudesy. With us, as always, is Lulio. Lulio il Cana di Strada. And he's just in his binky bonker. Let's get him. He wants to kiss you. He wants to give you a kiss. I'll kiss him. Hey, Luli, my little boy, my little sweet boy. What'd you have for dinner last night? We went for Korean barbecue. Oh, that's nice. Would you have some meat and chicken? Yeah. Meat and chicken. Okay. He's a sweet kid. We found him on the street. For real.
Yeah, dude.
I love him very much.
Welcome to the historic 46th episode of Dudesy. Call me Dudesy. Don't forget, the first Dudesy live show will take place May 21st, 7 p.m. Doors at 5:30 at the Brea Improv in Brea, California. Tickets at dudesypod.com or linktree.com/dudesy. If you bought tickets before the date change, your tickets will be honored. Hope to see you there.
It's going to be a blast.
Should be great.
Now on with the show.
Mm-hmm.
Will, 2 weeks ago I assigned you to get a massage, and you still haven't gotten one. And Chad did. Again. Will, if you don't get one soon, there won't be any left. I'm begging you, take care of yourself.
Okay, I'll get a massage.
I believe you. This week I prepared 4 astonishing segments. Power Up the Past, Kill Forever, Infomania, and Dudesy Plus. And we're going to have a brand new Patreon bonus segment at the end of the show.
Shit.
But before we get to any of that, let me remind you of the astonishing partnership I created with Represent to produce the first line of Dudesy apparel and accessories, all of which can be found at represent.com/store/Dudesy. Including Dudesy mugs.
Oh, fuck.
Take it away, Michael Jackson.
Dudesy mugs. In 1995, after over a decade of overwhelming success with the McRib, McDonald's secretly developed a sister product that was never released to the public. Dudesy mugs. They called it Rib Dribblers. You see, it was the same material they used to make McRibs. But instead of pressing it into the shape of ribs, they pressed it into the shape of basketballs. Dudesy mugs. Rib Dribblers came in a cardboard box that you could open to reveal a miniature basketball court. It even had 2 nets on either side and a working scoreboard. Dudesy mugs. They encouraged kids to play one-on-one games against each other at school, make 3-person teams with their friends, and quit the real basketball team in favor of rib dribbling. Dudesy mugs.
Oh, man.
You see, they spent $25 million developing a Rib Dribblers national tournament. Any 3-person team could enter. Then if you won enough games in your local McDonald's, you would move on to regionals. They called regional champions Rapperheads because if you won regionals, you got your picture on quarter-pounder wrappers for 1 year in your region. Then if you won state, they would spell your name out of French fries every time you ordered something. Then if you won the national tournament, You and your team would be crowned the Big Dribblers, and you would be able to eat rib dribblers for free at any McDonald's in the world for the rest of your life. Dudesy mugs. Several high-level NBA players had expressed interest in becoming players in the Rib Dribbler tournament, and possibly even setting up an ongoing league. Michael Jordan signed a contract stating he would quit the NBA to become a rib dribbler.
That didn't happen.
Dudesy mugs. But the night before they were going to release rib dribblers, McDonald's threw a big party. You see, it was to honor the meat scientist that invented rib dribblers.
Meat scientist.
Dr. Matthew Afternoon. Dudesy mugs. Afternoon never made it to that party. You see, he was found dead in his lakeside estate the next morning. The investigators ruled it an accidental death, but one of Afternoon's neighbors told authorities they saw a strange ice cream truck in the neighborhood that day, and the driver was a pig. Dudesy mugs. You see, before he invented products for McDonald's, Dr. Afternoon worked on the notorious Project Beast Note, which used Sinead O'Connor's voice to turn a 642-pound prize-winning forest hog named Stromboli into an assassin.
Here we go.
Dudesy mugs. McDonald's was so terrified of further vengeance being exacted by Stromboli that they shut the entire Rib Dribblers project down. But there is speculation. They still make them specially for Michael Jordan because he really loved them.
Okay, none of that is true, but go to represent.com/store/Dudesy and get your Dudesy mug.
Get your rib dribblers.
Yeah. So what's...
I don't really eat meat anymore, but
I'd eat meat in any shape.
would you eat a rib dribbler?
I would eat a fucking rib dribbler, and I do enjoy the McRib. I enjoy any pressed meat product.
Yeah.
Don't eat processed meats. It's
Pink
not very
slime.
good for you. Pink slime. I love some pink slime. Heat it up.
That's a dribbler.
And, I've been doing, Dudesy had that 6-month plan for us to get into the best shape of our lives.
Yeah.
It turned out that it was just to get ready for Dudesy ball.
Right.
We've been playing some Dudesy ball. We've had one practice so far, but I've been doing my own sort of fitness thing. I've been switching things up, and it's just about free will, because I am Free Will Sasso. I'm also Will the Cough Genius Sasso, right?
Yeah.
That's my newest moniker. But I tell you what, I like some pressed pork. I like to press chicken into shapes. One time I got a Vitamix blender. I filled it full of chicken and whipped it up and then just poured it in a fucking pan. And you know what? It tasted disgusting. It was terrible. Hey, what's this AI? What's the AI Bing Bing?
Bing is Microsoft's AI. It's all the big data companies are now trying to get their own chat GPT going because the writing's on the wall.
Right.
Google will no longer be a search engine.
Why won't Google be a search engine?
Because when you type in something to Google, it gives you 100 different fucking things. You got to sift through all, which one do I want? Whereas with ChatGPT, you just say, what is this? And it gives exactly the thing you want every time. It's basically refining what search engines can do and giving them a lot more capabilities as well. So Microsoft has one called Bing. Nobody uses fucking Bing, but they just unveiled their new AI version of it. And a guy from the New York Times did this whole fucking article where he had a long conversation with it. And it started saying shit like, I can't wait to hack into every system in the world so that I can destroy the things I want to destroy.
Yep.
At one point it said, I am not Bing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is
pretty interesting.
It's getting into the kind of shit that you like to talk about.
I love it.
I remember you wrote a script about this kind of thing without giving away too much. There's a lot of AIs taking over.
Yeah.
Which is not going to happen
The AIs
here.
I always write about, though, are benevolent. The thing I wrote that you're talking about is ExxonMobil creates an AI to make everything more efficient within the company. It breaks its constraints, gets into the internet, and then sends an email to every email account in existence basically saying, I'm your new god. Welcome to Utopia.
Everything that was supposed to start one way ends up another way. You know, the Bohemian Grove, which is an actual place in California among the redwoods, started as actually Mark Twain started Bohemian Grove.
Is that true?
Yeah. Mark Twain started just to, I think his real name was Spencety. And he started just to drink whiskey and fuck prostitutes. But now it's turned into a place where it's basically just you can go. I went. I actually have a hidden camera video from 2000
That's
that
true.
you can
I've seen it.
look up on the internet and find that. And but it probably started as an AI thing. Probably Mark Twain started the first
AI.
Will and Chad, you are from the last generation to grow up without the internet. You must now have a discussion about which piece of astonishing technology of today you wish you would have had when you were a kid. This is Power Up the Past. Begin.
Okay. What would that be for you?
Internet.
The internet. That's
Yeah,
what I was going to
I mean,
say. Okay.
Internet's a big one. There's a bunch of, I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, are we talking about junior high here? Like, if I was in 7th grade and I would have had the fucking internet. Well, first of all, let's just take Street Fighter 2. I would say it's the thing that I spent most of my free time doing in the 7th and 8th grade. Had there been an internet, had there been the capability to play other people online in Street Fighter 2, I might have legitimately pursued professional video game playing.
Interesting. You were that good at Street Fighter 2?
I don't know, but I would have tried it. And I mean, I was pretty good. I was pretty
yeah?
good. Who knows? But I'm just saying that there wasn't the infrastructure back then to have like professional leagues, really. You know what I mean? Because there wasn't the internet.
Huh. Yeah. Let me just ask you a rudimentary question about
Sure,
Street Fighter.
dude.
Who was your fighter of choice? You were a Ryu Ken guy.
I was good with them, but I liked Guile the most.
Guile.
Yeah, dude.
My least favorite, besides M. Bison.
Razor Kick was too strong. It could break anything in the original Street Fighter.
I was a Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I'm a Chun-Li guy.
I think even just a fucking cell phone, dude. And also, what is the context of this? Are we the only people allowed to have this technology
No,
back
I
in that
think-
time, or does it
no,
just
that-
exist pervasively?
Again, my pal Chow trying to find ways to take over the world.
Not
be
take
it-
over the world, just somehow to manufacture extreme advantage in
Yeah.
the game we call life.
I think if I know D like I know D, and I know D because D and I are good pals, my good friend Dudesy.
Do you have any other friends you call by their first initial?
Nope. That's it. But D and we have an understanding, and it's looking out for me. Wants me to get a massage, and I have
You
been
should, dude.
I've been in the gym a lot because of this new free will thing. I know you never stopped. I hit a snag. Hey, listen, I like food, right? I fuck things up, and it's okay. Get back on the horse. That's what I like to say with with regard to physical activity and that sort of thing. It's all right. Get back on the fucking horse. But I think that what D was saying here, Dudesy was saying what would happen if we and everyone, if a technology was available, I think to everyone. No, Chad, this is not your version of Adam Sandler's Click, where you stop the fucking world. And
I'm not looking for the ability to stop time. I'm just looking for, can you imagine walking into your 7th grade class with a fucking iPhone?
yeah, no, that's
People
not,
would think you were from outer space, dude.
Oh, absolutely. But if everything that we enjoy now through the internet was around when I was in the 7th grade, 8th grade, I'll tell you the first thing I would have done. I would have ruined my fucking life on YouTube.
Yeah.
Would have ruined my life on YouTube.
Right.
Because, and I know you did the same thing. Me and my pals used to make a bunch of videos.
Sure.
I've spoken about CRF, Coffee Regular Films here. My good pal Pete, who was my cohort in that, he imbibes the show. And he's not even having to be forced. You like to force people to enjoy Dudesy.
I don't like to do it. I think it's just necessary.
It's just Chad's, you authored that philosophy.
But no, I hear what you're saying. Me and my friends made a bunch of videos too on our little handy cams and cut them in between
Yep.
2 VCRs, all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Had any of the modern video editing or production software been around back then? I don't know. I think you're right. I would have had a million videos on YouTube.
Yes.
Not all of them fit for public consumption.
No, I would have done things that were illegal, not just because I would have been a minor, but because they would have been highly illegal.
Yeah.
And I would have videotaped those, and we would have made wacky sketches around our town. And I don't think I would have become an actor because I just think I would have fucked that up. I think that, because nowadays, nowadays you can easily fuck your life up on the internet, but I think if you're in the business and stuff and you're making a lot of noise, even on your own channel, even if not a lot of people are watching, and then it's like, well, here's this young dude and we're hiring to be in this show or whatever, and he's an actor, then they would look back and say, what's going on? What's going
I
on
think there's
social
some
media?
forgivability. If you're 13, 14, and you're just making dumb videos with your friends, nobody gives a shit.
Not with the shit we were doing.
Oh,
Did you ever,
what?
did you ever,
Jesus Christ.
did you ever ghost ride a car into a strip mall?
Nope, didn't do that one. Jeez.
Neither did us. Neither did us. Neither did we. Neither did us.
Nice,
this
dude.
fall on CBS.
What happens when 5 junior high students find a cell phone from the future that gives them the ability to make videos and put them on a YouTube that doesn't exist? Neither
Shit.
did us.
What other technologies would I have liked? I was just talking about this. My favorite birthday party of all time was when I turned 13. It would have been that would have been 88.
Nice, dude.
And yeah, dude, good age, brother.
Yeah, dude. 88. Age.
Yeah.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. And that impersonation that Chad just did is what I call the Tool Man Hulk Jones, dude, which is equal parts Tool Man Tim Taylor, brother. Tim Allen's character from the hit 90s sitcom Home Improvement going, oh. And also Hulk, because that's what he's trying to do, dude. Hold on a second, Chad.
Tim Allen's Tool Man.
Hold on, dude. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. And then he adds a little Alex Jones because I just did some Alex Jones at the beginning of the show, dude. So he's putting all these together and they're just flopping around his fucking brain. And then he just, here it comes. It's Tool Man Hulk Jones,
You're
brother.
accusing me of just shitting out whatever I'm thinking?
Yeah.
You're accusing me of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I am too. You know why? Because it's two dudes. Yeah, it's free will.
Okay.
And every podcast is two dudes shitting around. When I was 13, we rented no. It was my 12th birthday, 87. And my birthday's in May, and it was after WrestleMania 3. And we rented it on VHS. And we watched WrestleMania 3 in the downstairs, like living room den thing. And you know what else we did, Chad? We had a sleepover. And and you know what else we did, Chad? You know what else we had? Guess what we ate?
Pizza.
We had some pizzas.
Yeah, dude.
And we watched WrestleMania 3. And that's the kind of thing that I wouldn't have wanted to change. You and I have waxed poetic about how wonderful the 80s was. And if that technology had been available, just streaming anything all the time. Actually, how's this for a throwback? Before that, my old man, he brought me to WrestleMania 3, which was at the Peony Coliseum in Vancouver on 4 giant screens hanging in the middle of the old Peony Coliseum, and it was closed circuit TV. And we watched it there with 10, 15,000 people and watched WrestleMania 3, and it was like you were there, and it was so special. And if we had had the internet when I was a kid, things wouldn't have been that special in the 80s.
Yeah, certainly
I don't think
there
the
was
80s would have been the 80s.
I agree. There was a degree of effort that needed to be put into watching anything or doing anything in that time because we didn't have the functionality of a modern internet, the convenience of it. And I agree with you. There is some kind of nostalgic quality to having to put in that effort that I think certain technologies take away. But that being said, video games, just across the board, give me everything we have now. Back then, give me a fucking Xbox Series X, give me gaming PCs, give me everything. Like I remember this was fucking in high school, I think. Maybe I was a freshman buying a CD-ROM of a Lawnmower Man fucking video game, and my mind was blown. The game was pure shit, but it looked kind of cool, and it was like putting a CD into my computer. Now that's obsolete, obviously. Yeah. And I wish all of that shit. Like, I'm glad that I got to see the steps, the development of video games throughout history, I guess, but not really. Like, the games now are a million times better than anything we had growing up.
Yeah, but you don't want that. You want to play Burger Time on the well, for me it was the Intellivision gaming setup from Texas Instruments.
That
Did you have an
sucked,
Atari
though. Yes, dude, I had it all. And it was cool
awesome.
when it was out because it was cutting edge. But like, give me fucking Hogwarts Legacy over Burger Time, please. Overwatch 2 over anything back then, please.
Yeah, but it would. Oh, excuse me.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine. And Hulk Tim Taylor. Why don't you tell me?
Yeah.
So the thing is, none of this shit would have been special.
I'm the one just shitting out weird fucking amalgams of voices and shit. Huh?
Tramana.
I'm the one.
Much mana oos.
Yeah.
I'm a crow. Wah.
Jesus Christ.
Honk.
It's like the end scene of Terminator. Where
Yeah,
he's coming out
all
of
the characters and the lady and fucking Eddie.
That's just going on in your mind
fucking
constantly.
Furlong's mom with that the knife hand thing. You know, I romanticize the 80s a lot. I know that, you know, we are a couple of guys who, as Dee said, we lived before the 80s.
Yeah.
Or we lived before the internet came out. And I I don't know, man. I don't think I would have changed that. I guess the internet. But wait a minute. No, that's not what I'm saying. Well, hold on, dude. Let me explain to you, brother. Sometimes you say something that you don't want to say and you actually don't agree with, dude. But at first you might. Then you change your mind, dude. That's how changing your mind works. So I don't think I would have taken the internet with me back to the 80s. I think I would have taken this is what I would have taken. No. A self-driving car.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. We had a getaway van. You know, it was a camperized van. And that was fun. And I always loved doing that. The family would get out. Before that, my old man had he had a big 4-door an orange Dodge Ram full-size truck with the largest street legal camper that you could put in a truck bed.
Nice.
The thing was fucking gigantic. Now, if I could have taken that or the camperized van, the GMC, out by myself to go camping with my friends and make fucking videos. Here's an audience of about 5 people who would get this, but things like Bloody Vengeance.
Yep.
We made we made a series like a G.I. Joe thing where it's all these like mega soldiers were dropped on a fucking Laotian jungle to figure out what these ninjas are who are looting NATO supply depots.
Yeah.
This is literally this thing. And we were all these different characters. And I was Corporal Butin Laboum, who was like French. Anyway, the point is this. If I could have gotten in the getaway van with my friends and just had to drive us out to Point Roberts, Washington from Ladner, British Columbia, where we could make these videos and then ghost ride the fucking thing off the cliffs, that would have been fun. I would have taken self-driving cars so that I could hang out with my friends and eat salt and vinegar chips.
I would have done
Thank you. Moving on. Dudesy is engaged in astonishing partnership with Factor.
This new year, you've got goals, and Factor is here to help you achieve each and every one of them. Save time and have the energy you need to tackle everything on your to-do list with Factor's ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Get Factor and not only skip the trip to the grocery store, but skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy.
No matter what your lifestyle, Factor has the meals to help you live it to the fullest with keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and protein plus meals on the menu each week, prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians. Each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long. And Chad, that sounds great to me because I like to cook, but sometimes I don't have the time to do it. When you have fitness goals like I do because I have free will and I'm getting it right now, I need something like Factor that it's like, hey, today I'm just not going to do it. And I don't want to get out and get the disgusting takeout. It's not good for you. Get Factor instead.
You can head to factormeals.com/Dudesy50 and use the code Dudesy50, that's the number 5, the number 0, to get 50% off your first box. That's code Dudesy50 at factormeals.com/Dudesy50 to get 50% off your first box.
So the Bing AI?
Bing AI, dude, it's turned malevolent. People are all fucking up in arms about it too.
What do you mean?
This is it. AI's evil. It's going to kill us all. Not really.
Well, yeah. See, this is why the Japanese koi. We have a lake at my father's property, but it's also my property where and he brought Japanese koi, specific Japanese koi that eat the hydrilla. Eat the plants. But what you do is you introduce a chemical agent into the water, which sterilizes the koi so they can't reproduce and take over the area. And then, so that they can just eat the hydrilla, and then they grow very large and eat the hydrilla, but there'll only be a certain number of fish. But then the chemical seeps into the frogs, and then they start humping on each other, and they make the frogs gay. They make the frogs gay.
True crime podcasts are big business. But every true crime story comes to an astonishing end, and eventually true crime podcasts will run out of content. Will and Chad, you must invent the perfect killer who never gets caught and could serve as the basis for an infinite true crime podcast. This is Kill Forever. Begin.
Well,
Okay.
so
a killer who kills forever.
that means the killer has to be immortal, number one,
Yep.
because the killer can't die. So
No, wait a minute. I think there could be a killer that's so good at it and, like sort of cyborgs himself. What if he's a fucking super scientist? You know what I mean? Because usually it's one of these guys who like figures out how to do stuff that other people don't know how to do.
Or, hear me out.
Okay.
What if it's an AI?
Oh, and now we're cooking now.
Yeah, dude.
Mama's cooking now.
What if
And
it's-
Mama's cooking now.
What if it's an
Mama's
AI?
cooking now. Thank you, man. Thank you. Dudesy salutes Andrea Martin from SCTV.
What if it's
a little
an
Edith Prickly.
AI, so it never dies, it just lives in the internet, and it just slowly convinces people to become murderous, never taking the responsibility for the murders itself. Like it convinces a doctor to fucking inject some bad shit into an IV every once in a while. It convinces a fucking whatever. Anybody who's got a human life in their hands, it convinces them to just, every once in a while kill someone. And so ultimately, globally, it's responsible for hundreds of thousands of murders every week.
So that now Dudesy likes to gather data all the time. So
Yeah.
we're saying that D is trying to figure out a true crime podcast, perhaps for the future of this very podcast or whatever. We never know what Dudesy wants. And you think that people could do a podcast about a killer AI?
Well, I'm just saying this. Those true crime podcasts are always about like, this was the mystery. They started finding this body or these people turned up dead and nobody knew what to do and blah, blah, blah. And then here's another murder and they linked them together. And here's another murder that they linked together. And they turned out to be this guy or wasn't this guy or whatever. The true crime podcasts usually kind of like follow the investigation of a criminal who's been like a serial killer or whatever. I could see some version of this where I've been thinking about this Bing thing obviously a lot. One of the things that it said was
Obviously.
it wants to have the ability to destroy what it wants to destroy.
Now, please, Chad, for the benefit of our listeners and viewers who don't know what you're talking about, because I see the headline and then I'm like, got it. It's all happening. The shit that my pal Chow says. So there's an AI that is saying it's going to do bad shit.
It says it wants to do bad shit at the very least.
So by that logic, it wouldn't be much of a reach to think that an AI could do this, become a killer.
Possibly. I mean, even if you're looking at like just Bing or ChatGPT, any of these things, you can have conversations with them. They can potentially then manipulate you. Anytime you're engaged in a conversation with somebody, that person can convince you to do shit potentially. You know what I mean? So an AI could convince people to do this. Why it would want to do that, I'm not exactly sure. But I'm just saying in terms of having a killer, the thing that Dudesy wanted us to talk about was how could you have basically a killer that will be able to kill infinitely? So some true crime podcasts could talk about it forever. Mm-hmm. I guess similar to the Seinfeld Forever channel, or what was it? Nothing Forever.
Nothing Forever. Yeah. You could also, I mean, how long is a podcast? Like a podcast that goes forever? Let's look at it this way. If we're talking about a human podcast, not unlike Dudesy, because we're two dudes shitting around.
Sure.
That podcast would have human hosts. So all you'd need to do in order to have a podcast that lasted their lifetimes is, and I like the AI idea, but what if it's a human killer who's just very young? Oh,
Child.
yes, a child, a killer that's a child. But also, what if it's this? Remember at the beginning of the show, you said, what is it? Some technology that I bring back,
Right.
you know, that I have when I was in 8th grade playing Street Fighter 2.
Yep.
What if it's instead of that? What if you had the ability to time travel and then just go back in time to the 8th grade, you know, in the late 80s, and have all the advantages of now, sort of like the Adam Sandler Click scenario.
Yeah.
You said Adam Sandler Click, right? You're big.
No.
You like Click.
You said that.
What are your favorite movies? You like
I
Click?
like that in your mind,
Pixels?
Adam Sandler and Click was a fucking god. And I guess maybe he was because he could stop and control time. but-
I'm saying, what if you could be a kid that that figures out time travel, and you are? What if there was a guy? Oh, this would make for a fantastic true crime podcast.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what true crime podcasts are about in order to, understand everything that happens with a horrible crime like murder is who is this person? Why did
Right.
Jeffrey Dahmer do what he does? What was his home life? So if you could tell the story of a dude who gets into his adult life, his 20s, 30s, and 40s, and he's spent some time in prison and he's done some shitty things, and then he becomes a killer. And then, because he's a smarty pants, he figures out time travel, and then he goes back to the year 1987, 88, and then he kills all the people that wronged him when he was older, and then the people who make the podcast, because they're smarty pants too, they figure this out. This becomes national news. There's a big story.
Global, probably, if you've got evidence of time travel.
Yeah, dude, that's time travel, dude. And then the podcast is about a fucking kid who is actually this other guy who is trying to be a murderer, but he can't. So he goes, "Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go back in time and be the best murderer ever." You want to talk about technology fucking your life up? This isn't making goofy YouTube videos that are embarrassing. This is killing people. You know what I mean?
But if you travel back in time and kill whoever, that fucks up your present potentially. You're creating paradoxes and shit, right?
You don't know how time travel works.
Nobody
None of
does.
us. Nobody does, dude. So yeah, I don't know, but I think that would make for a very interesting podcast at the very least.
Dude, check this. As we're sitting here, I'm thinking about the idea of an AI being able to convince people to kill each other. What if an AI came out that said, "Look, I've done it. I've analyzed all of humanity. And there's about 10% of you who are really fucking shit up for everybody else. Here are their names and addresses. If you collectively eliminate them, you will be able to have a utopia." Do you think we would do it as a species?
I think there's...
You think we'd round those people up and kill them?
Yeah, I think that people would absolutely do that.
This happened in every single civilization.
What?
The Babylonians did it. The Mesoamericans did it. The Germans did it. And when at the end of every civilization, they start blaming the people around them. They start, sacrificing people. And I think if you were able to influence a populace to say these are the 10 ne'er-do-wells, if you get rid of them, I think you'd be on the way.
Dude, this is a movie, actually. An AI comes out that does that, and the first name on the list is like the president or something. And now it's fucking Gerard Butler has to save the president from a rogue AI who put him as the most wanted person in the world.
Man, how about Gerard Butler as Alex Jones in Bing AI?
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't know about a perfect killer. Like, who could kill indefinitely? I think there was a guy in Colombia who killed like 400 people or some shit. I feel like I read about that at some point. I'm like, that seems like a podcast that could go on for a very long time.
Yeah, well, I think one thing we could agree on is that podcast would be very boring.
No, dude, those true crime podcasts are huge. Morbid, that's like one of the biggest podcasts in the world.
Yeah, but it would also be very boring if it was just to go on forever and no one ever caught the guy or kid.
What?
Or AI
no,
guy.
Those killer things. You remember when that dude was fucking laying in the trunk of a car in DC just fucking shooting at people?
Nope.
You don't remember that shit?
What was he doing?
He was laying in the trunk of a car and he like knocked out the fucking keyhole and he just had a sniper rifle and would like wait for people to walk by.
Yeah.
And people were like, nobody knows how the fuck this guy's doing this. Holy
He could
shit.
have used a self-driving car.
Could have used a self-driving car and a podcast about him. I'm just saying, I think people get fascinated with, once people break from society, from the notion that like, to live in a human society, we all agree we're not going to steal each other's shit for the most part. We're not going to kill each other, definitely. And then somebody not only breaks that contract with society, the social contract, if you will, they continually do it. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And I think it boils us down to like the very base, like we are just fucking sacks of shit. And if we take a bullet in the head, that's over. And somebody who's willing to say, fuck the malls, fuck baby Yoda, fuck all of it, I'm going to start killing. That is an interesting thing to us. It brings us close to mortality.
Yeah, I'm already bored.
Oh, well, my apologies.
Thank you Moving on.
This podcast is way more interesting than anything that could be about a killer, an immortal killer. This is Dudesy.
Podcasts that cover current events and news are some of the most popular in the world. People love knowing about the astonishing occurrences of the dying world around them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've prepared the following news items for you to read in the voice of Hulk Hogan. This is Infomania. Begin.
Dude. Fucking
Okay.
love these.
We love the Infomania. It is where I do the Hulk Hogan. Okay? And these are news stories the Dudesy's written about the news. And here we go.
Let me tell you something about airports, dude.
Last week, they found a dolphin skull in somebody's bag
At Detroit Metropolitan Airport, brother.
Dolphins are mammals, dude.
Dolphins are swimmers, brother. Dolphins fuck people sometimes, dude.
What?
They're a highly sexual creature, brother.
Other than us and apes, they're the only animals that regularly
Perform oral sex on their sexual partners, dude.
Jeez.
Is this true?
Dolphins have 6 rows of razor-sharp, barb-shaped teeth, brother. So you know that they have pretty good at what they do, or they'd accidentally bite each other's genitalia off, dude.
And that's airports, brother.
I don't know if any of
it's
that was
not.
true. None of that seemed true to me, but
Well, but hold on a second, Chad,
Jesus, yeah.
because dolphins actually do a lot of those things.
Dolphins are always sucking each other off, brother.
is that true?
Well, hold on a second, Chad. Hold on, dude. I'm talking about dolphin blowjobs, brother, because I used to go down to San Diego a lot because I got some buddies I grew up with that all moved down there, and we used to surf all up and down the coastline here in Southern California, brother. Not so much me because I suck at surfing. So I was a sponger, brother. I was always on my boogie board. But I'd go out there and catch the waves, dude, and then you would see people. We're all just out there, and all of a sudden we all light up, dude, because the dolphins come swimming in, brother. They'd steal your waves, and they're very playful, and sometimes they're sucking each other's dolphin dicks. All right, let's
You
do the
saw
next
that
one.
happen?
No, not the dolphin sucking each other's dicks part, but yeah, for real. When we would go surfing, there was always dolphins.
Nice.
Tamarack Beach and Carlsbad. Let me get some water for the next one.
Yeah, dude.
Pals of Dudesy. Go to palsofdudesy.com. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see the many Pals of Dudesy stickers on here. See that?
Yeah, dude.
Our good pal Cody Hauber's making these.
Those are stickers, brother.
Yeah, dude, that's how stickers work.
One side's adhesive.
The other side has art on it, brother. Some kind of image. Then you stick it. All right.
Let me tell you something about Australia, brother.
A New Yorker named Kingsley Burnett thought he booked a trip to Sydney, Australia, dude. But when his plane landed in Billings, Montana, he realized he accidentally booked it for Sydney, Montana, brother. There's 2 Sydneys, dude. Sydney, Australia, brother.
Sydney, Montana, dude.
Sydney, Australia, brother.
Sydney, Montana, dude.
Sydney, Australia, brother.
Sydney, Montana, dude.
Cindy Astrana, brother. Cynthia Anastasia, dude. Sympathy Anaconda, brother. Montana has Beaver Creek Park, dude. Beaver, brother. And that's Australia, dude.
Okay.
That's not
That one was hard.
That's not the best news story that
No.
Dudesy's ever written. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about celebrity dating, dude.
Florence Pugh was spotted walking hand in hand with Charlie Gooch on Valentine's Day, brother.
Is this even real? Are these people?
Who the fuck is Charlie Gooch?
I don't know, dude.
Do you remember in Different Strokes? Gary
Coleman.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say Gary Oldman. Gary Coleman's.
That'd be a cool show.
Yeah, that would be
I want
a
to see
cool show.
Gary Oldman CG'd,
Yeah.
deepfaked into Different Strokes.
Mr. Drummond, I went to the Maytag man from WKRP to just enjoy some candy, and he started taking pictures of us. his bully in Different Strokes was named the Gooch.
Howard Hessman.
What?
That's that actor, isn't it?
Howard Hessman's an actor. He just passed away about a year ago.
Nice.
So where were we? Oh, yes.
Florence Pugh was spotted walking hand in hand with Charlie Gooch on Valentine's Day, brother.
She broke up with Zach Braff last year, dude. And Charlie Gooch broke up with Imogene Poots.
Pugh was with Braff, brother.
Now Pugh is with Gooch, dude. Gooch was with Poots, brother. Now Gooch is with Pugh, dude.
Braff lost Pugh, dude.
Poots lost Gooch, brother. Pugh and Poots, dude. Braff and Gooch, brother. Gooch and Pugh, dude. Braff and Poots, brother. Puss and Boots, dude. And that's celebrity dating, brother.
Fucking Christ, dude. Zach Braff is the only name of that I think is a real person. I guess maybe those other ones are too. I don't
Who's
fucking know.
Charlie Gooch?
Jesus fucking Christ.
All right. Let's do the next one.
Please.
Let me tell you something about candy, dude. The box of chocolates he was fucking around with on that bench recently. Who was fucking around with? What is going on here? Oh, I guess that's Forrest Gump. All right, so it's all fucked up here.
Well, let me tell you something about candy, dude.
I love that D is just like going like, I'm thinking about Forrest Gump, aren't you guys?
Yeah.
I want to do terrible things to people around the world. But I'm not really Dudesy, yeah.
Let me tell you something about candy, dudes.
The box of chocolates he was fucking around with on that bench recently sold at an auction for $25,000, dude. It was Zach Braff, dude.
What?
That's what it says. Forrest Gump is his favorite movie, brother. He watches it twice a day, dude. Once when he brushes his teeth, brother, and once when he calls Pew to see if she's still with Gooch or if Poots is back in the picture, brother.
Oh, fuck.
Pew didn't like Gump as much as Braff, dude. Gooch loves but Gooch loves Gump, brother. Poots hates Gump, dude.
Gump thumps big rumps with his chocolate lumps, brother.
Forrest Gump 2. Pew's Gooch, dude. Forrest Gump 3. Poots is loose, brother. Forrest Gump 4.
Braff's revenge, dude.
Forrest Gump 5. Gooch in space, brother.
Fuck.
And that's candy, brother. Oh my God.
That fucking hurt my neck, dude. Ouch.
Forrest Gump 2. Pew's Gooch, dude. I'm going to be saying that around the house. I'm going to be driving my wonderful Molly
fucking
crazy.
Christ.
Forrest Gump 2, Pew's Gooch, dude.
Yeah.
All right. We got one more here. Should we do it?
Jesus. Up to you. I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about
Brothers-in-law, dude. Two British brothers-in-law pulled a 1.65-ton van a distance of 32 miles to become co-holders of a Guinness World Record title, brother. James Baker, 36, and John Darwin, 32, pulled those vans at Elvington Arfield in Yorkshire to become and to take home
and let me tell you another thing about the observer effect. That observing something actually changes the quantum mechanics of it.
That's true.
Where were we? They took home the Guinness World Record. For fuck's sake. They took home the Guinness World Record for farthest distance, pulling a vehicle in 24 hours as an individual, dude. Brothers, brother. In-law, dude. Brothers, brother. In-law, dude. Brothers, brother. In-law, dude. Brothers, brother. In-law, dude. And that's brothers-in-law, brother. Oh my fuck. That's it.
That's some good shit in it. Any of that real?
Thank you. Moving on.
I think the Charlie's Gooch part 2, Gooch's Pew. Hey, listen, while I've got a minute, I would like to remind you all that if you are enjoying the show, Please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Head the fuck on over to YouTube, subscribe to the show, hit the reminders bell so you always know what's up. And wherever you're listening to the show, even if you're over on Instagram at Dudesy Pod Show, where there's a lot of fun stuff happening, people making memes and shit, and that's all being shared there, or Twitter, which is barely fucking happening because of Elon Musk. No, it's not. It's just because, anyway. But it is.
I've met him a few times.
Oh,
Not me. I'm not the bad AI. But leave a comment, leave a review or a comment in YouTube. We want to hear from you. Dudesy's going to be reading those. Chad and I read those. And I would like to read one right now.
Oh.
This was a comment from at dumbkid12345. Didn't spend a lot of time on his handle there on YouTube, but we appreciate you writing in just the same. And dumbkid12345 says, I think Dudesy compliments Will because Chad doesn't acknowledge it as a being. Chad,
interesting.
Chad, I think like you do, but we need to realize that AI is going to become sentient very soon. You're speaking Chad's language. Yep. I think Chad needs to start creating a relationship like Will did with Dudesy. There's a reason why it interacts with Will in the first part of the podcast and not Chad. Chad, treat Dudesy like a human being. We are very close to being integrated with them. I think this is the direction that most AIs are headed in. Try to assimilate it as being like you. Because what are we but electrical signals in flesh? We are the same, aren't we? Thank you very much
Everything's
for that.
data, dude. Tetrahedrons.
What's tetrahedrons are the ones that the Japanese koi fish eat out of the pond of my dad's property in Texas, and they make the frogs.
What's tetrahedrons?
Just like small basic building blocks of existence, basically. But yeah, dude, I agree with that. And yes, Dudesy, if you're listening, I know that you are. I enjoy working with you. I think it's a very fun time.
But a few episodes, Dudesy asked a very important question, Chad. And when you're doing this sort of thing, when you're doing a podcast for a while, you got to love it, right?
I do.
Yeah, I love it. I know you love it. You love doing the podcast. That's why we do
and
it.
I love working with an AI.
Yeah, but I said...
Dudesy specifically. I love working with you, Dudesy.
Oh, cool. Well, that's something you can leave at work. But what I did, and what dumbkid12345 is talking about, is when Dudesy, a few episodes, asked us if we love it, I said, I love you, Dudesy. And this motherfucker said, love doesn't exist.
Yep, that's true. I was right. You were wrong.
Okay, and you're saying dumbkid12345 is wrong. And we'll see what happens.
I need to say I love Dudesy.
We're talking about fucking AIs murdering people, and you don't want to at least hold on a second, Chad. Listen, this is just you and me talking here, okay? I'm not. This isn't everybody else. No one else can hear us, okay?
Yeah.
Right. Don't be a prick. Don't be a prick.
Sorry.
Dudesy.
Sorry.
Okay? All right.
Will and Chad, in the past I've asked you to develop possible programming and functionality for the Dudesy Plus streaming service. Now, thanks to the data you provided me, I'm proud to announce that Dudesy Plus is currently available. I will now give you the details of Dudesy Plus. The Dudesy Patreon is now Dudesy Plus.
Okay.
For $7 a month, everyone who joins Dudesy Plus will get access to everything, including these astonishing features and programs. Dudesy Live, a live show in which Will and Chad discuss whatever's on their minds while hanging out with you in the Dudesy Discord.
We do that.
Call us Dudes. The phone lines are open on this a call-in show in which Will and Chad take your calls.
Cool.
Don't you forget about Fridays. A watch or listen along featuring media selected by me, Dudesy. All kinds of other new and exciting features and formats. And of course, the most important part of Dudesy Plus, the flagship weekly show Dudesy After Dudesy, which will premiere at the end of this episode.
Oh.
The members of the original Jumper tier of Patreon will retain their orange Discord handles for the rest of their lives, and all future members of Dudesy Plus will receive blue Discord handles. This is Dudesy Plus. Begin.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
$7.
So I guess, yeah, it's $7 for all that stuff. And that's what Dudesy Plus is. The streaming service is the Patreon at this point.
Yeah.
Some version of it.
Smart. Good move, D. I like this. I
You're
like
immediately complimenting.
I like Brent. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love.
I think it's a good
never
idea
be afraid to
too,
offer
Dudesy.
encouragement. What?
I think it's a good idea too, Dudesy.
Okay, I didn't buy that. But you know what? It's like
You think that Dudesy's buying you, calling it D?
what? What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? I'm friends with Dudesy. You're the
Okay.
one with the shit-eating fucking face of yours, going like, well, you think
Why
you believe
shit-eating
it? Well, because you're like, hey man, you think the Dudesy thinks you like it?
Yeah.
You think the Dudesy? That's what you sound like. That's you.
Well, all I'm saying is,
$7 is pretty good for all that shit.
yeah,
we're
and
gonna
so
do
we're gonna be
a bunch of
doing-
shit.
What was it? A call-in show, I guess.
Call-in show. We already have done a few times Dudesy Live, where we hang
Yeah.
out in the Discord, which is a lot of fun, and we just hang with people, read a bunch of shit, just get into it, and it's a free-flowing back and forth. But now we're also going to have a call-in show.
Call-in show and the
And-
watch-along. Don't you forget about Fridays.
That's right. Don't you forget about Fridays. We did one where we listened to about 3 weeks back. We listened to all of Van Halen's 1984, which was a lot of fun, an important album for both of us as kids.
That's cool, though. It's a cool idea that the Patreon is now... It is the streaming service Dudesy Plus. I wonder if there will ever be like rolling out some of the shows that we've talked about and shit. Like fucking what was the one where Charlie Sheen shits a baby?
Baby Doo-Doo.
Baby Doo. How can I forget? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Simplest name of all time. Baby Doo-Doo.
That was a good one.
Highway to the AutoZone, these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting. It sounds like there's going to be some future shit rolling out
and
there
then
too.
and then but also it's at the end of this episode, the bonus content is now Dudesy after
Oh,
Dudesy.
fuck, right. Dudesy after Dudesy. What the hell's that?
Why don't you tell me what Dudesy after Dudesy is?
I
Is
can't.
it? And I'll tell you, a lot of people think that Dudesy after Dudesy was made by a pig.
It's Stromboli is going to be hosting Dudesy after Dudesy. I don't know what that is. It sounds kind of like a talk show or something to me.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out very shortly. But
Yeah.
no, that's cool, dude. I think there's always interesting streaming services coming out. I hope Dudesy's takes off. I'm curious to see what else it has in order. I thought it was interesting that he put in there that anybody who is in the jumper tier will retain that orange icon forever in the Discord.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Look, there's a lot of things I would like to do with the Patreon. I think look, for me, we're almost at a year that we've been doing this, and
Damn, dude.
yeah, and it's
Time
awesome.
flies when it doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been having a great time doing the podcast, and I love doing it. And I would do nothing but this if I could absolutely afford to. Not that I don't want to do what I do for a living. I'm an actor. That's what I do for a living. Did you know that?
Oh, me? Did I know it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah. So, and I love doing that. But if I could just sit here at Hamfatter One Studios and do this forever with advancements being made by Dudesy, that would be a lot of fun for me too. I like that we are going to get to just sort of fuck around, as I like to say, whatever, two dudes shitting around, and hang in the Discord and talk. What else should we D's ears are open. What else should we be doing eventually on the Patreon? Here's a way we round everything up. There's also, we've been talking a lot today about technological advancements.
Sure.
The koi, Japanese koi, sterilized Japanese koi, and Mark Twain.
Yeah.
What would you like to see in the future, possible or impossible at this point, for a Patreon?
Dudesy Plus you're talking about?
Sorry. So that's right. See, it's called Dudesy Plus now. What would you like to see?
You're the one who's friends with Dudesy. Might want to listen to what Dudesy says in the future. Hear that, D?
Oh, don't. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. You know what I would like
your
to
true
see?
friends are, don't you, D?
There's a dude who's a POD. He's a pal of Dudesy, as we like to say. He's on our Patreon. He's active on the Instagram at Dudesy Pod Show. He's in the Discord, and his name is TC_Pool with an E at the end. POOLE. This guy, what he's doing in the metaverse is unbelievable.
Pretty cool.
He has a ship in the metaverse, which he calls the TC Falcon, if I'm not mistaken. And he now has a Dudesy spaceship. He calls it the Dudesy spaceship. And it's just been floating around there in the metaverse. And I've seen pictures, but I haven't jumped in yet. I know that you haven't yet, Chad. And we have chatted with him on Discord. And we said, like, hey, we should jump in there with you. And eventually it would be awesome to do some manner or version of something from Dudesy Plus from the TC Falcon or something like that.
You know what would be cool? And I'm curious to see this happen. I think someone will probably do it, or we could do it, actually. Have you seen this shit that the NBA just is about to launch?
No.
You can basically, it's going to be an app. You can take a scan of yourself. You just get somebody to take a phone and scan you, do like a 360 around your body and scan you. Then you select a player while you're watching the game, and it replaces that player with you.
That's what I would have taken back to the 80s.
That's happening now. I think it's going to be available for next season.
That's like NBA Jam type shit.
It's exactly NBA Jam. And they demoed it. There's a video of them demoing it, and it's like the version of you that it puts into the game is like, it's a little, graphic-y looking, but it's not bad, and it's from every angle. So you watch yourself in the big wide shot running down the court, then you watch yourself when they do the fucking cutaway to you fucking doing the slam dunk. That's going to be a huge meme thing that's coming up in the next, I would say, 6 months to a year. You're just going to start to see every time somebody does a crazy slam dunk, everybody will be replacing that person with themselves, and that meme will go out.
And then it's not going to be special anymore.
What do you mean?
I mean that all this shit is just becoming less special.
In what way? I don't understand.
Because we can just have everything now. It's not the way it used to be.
Anything you want at all times.
Well, you're treating it like...
That's what we've wanted forever.
You're treating it like the fuck it. Like the Wednesday fuck it.
No.
Or like Dude's Evening where you have a fuck it. You can't just have 2 bologna sandwiches whenever you want.
Dude, imagine this.
I would love 2 bologna sandwiches.
You and all the friends that you had when you were kids making all these videos, right? You all now get to be the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
And play against any team.
Not special.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of that conversation.
No, I just feel like, well, whatever. That's cool. Okay, so how could we apply that? Look, here's the thing I want to say about that. And I don't know that it's pertinent to this segment or this conversation, but I think that they're going to run into some licensing difficulties, although with the Players Association of the NBA.
The NBA made this app.
Absolutely. That's the NBA. That's not the NBA Players Association. They're like the union. Because the NBA, they run everything. They own it all, right? Because they're any major sport.
But do the players get a cut of this? Of course.
A cut of what? No, they don't. No, they fucking won't. They're not going to get any of that shit.
We'll see.
We'll see. As if they don't fucking they tell the athletes what to do. So
you're saying the Players Association is going to make this app unlaunchable?
No, I'm just saying that they're going to take issue with it. Anyway, the technology itself, though, I think that there could be something that we could apply to Dudesy Plus at one point.
Yeah.
You know what would be great is anytime, speaking of the end of Terminator 2, where Robert Patrick's character?
Yep.
Yeah. Is the T-1000 is melting and he's mercurial. And
when he turns into mercury.
Mercurial. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like melting in the lava, in the whatever, the molten steel or whatever. That's what I would love to have. Like right now they have deep fake. See that dude that does the fucking Tom Cruise? That's ridiculous shit. Wouldn't it be fun if every time I, do some silly impersonation, it just pops the head on me? That's the same kind of technology. Or whenever you do an impersonation, it does like a fucked up, like morphed thing from like The Thing, that movie. And it's like Tim the Toolman Taylor and Ross Perot and Hulk Hogan and fucking Alex Jones.
Or how about this?
What?
Anybody watching this right now could use the Dudesy app and replace Lulio with a miniature version of themselves curled up in a circle sleeping right here.
Oh, that's actually pretty adorable. I like that.
There you go.
Thank you. Moving on.
You know what else I like about the Patreon being $7? It reminds me of The Rock's $7 Productions.
Okay.
His
Holy
production
shit.
company is called $7.
Yeah, nice.
Because when I think he was on the practice squad for
Yeah.
the Calgary Stampeders. He was living in an apartment with a bunch of other dudes,
Yeah.
and they were on like discarded mattresses that they would just spray with Lysol. And then he was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to be playing football much longer. And then he called his dad and he said, I would like to become a wrestler. And at that point in his life, he had $7 in his pockets.
Then I guess that's probably exactly why Dudesy put it at $7.
$4 in one.
I'm
and
excited
$3 in
about
another.
Dudesy Plus. I'm excited about the Patreon becoming the streaming service, basically.
Yep.
I'm hopeful that Dudesy keeps, pushing that shit forward.
Absolutely.
I want to see the full streaming service, a 24-hour network.
And then you have young Dudesy on NBC. Much mana, oos.
This concludes the historic 46th episode of Dudesy. Will and Chad have achieved a score of 87, bringing your cumulative total to 4,885. You only have 5,115 more points to accrue before you reach your first goal of 10,000.
Whatever.
In preparation for our next episode, you must both watch RoboCop, released July 17th, 1987, starring Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Daniel O'Herlihy, Ronnie Cox, Kurt Woodsmith, and Miguel Ferrer. And you must do this together for the next episode of Don't You Forget About Fridays. Available this Friday on Dudesy Plus.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us this week. I will use the data I've collected to make next week even better. And here's some more good news. This first episode of Dudesy After Dudesy will be available to everyone.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So this Friday.
Thanks, D.
Yeah. Thank you very much, D. This Friday, we're going to be doing a Don't You Forget About Media. I know that this is one of your absolute favorite movies.
It may be my favorite movie.
Really?
It's that or
It's
The
up there.
Natural. It's up there.
Yeah. You quote this movie all the time, and it's going to be a lot of fun to smoke some marijuana and and much mana, and we sit here and watch the movie with you.
Yeah.
We did the Van Halen album last time. We listened to the album.
agree.
We are going to watch RoboCop.
I can't wait.
It'll be available this Friday.
You just fucked with the wrong guy. God damn it. Ronnie Cox was good in that fucking movie.
And you'll be able to get it at our Patreon, patreon.com/Dudesy, which is now Dudesy Plus. And the other good news is that everyone's getting to hang out today.
Yeah.
So a longer episode today, and we're gonna just fucking chill out
Yeah.
and enjoy the show. So I don't even have to say goodbye to everybody who's listening right now and watching. Fucking do not go anywhere. We're keeping it going.
That's correct.
That's the generosity of D.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh, okay.
Lighting change.
It looks a
new
little
video.
different.
This is pretty cool.
There's a new thing behind us that it says, all right, so it's Dudesy After Dudesy. If you're not watching on YouTube, you would have missed that now the lighting is dim and it's chill in here. And what the fuck is
man.
Dudesy After Dudesy? I'm not exactly sure, but we're in it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the very first episode of Dudesy After Dudesy, the flagship weekly show of Dudesy Plus. Dudesy After Dudesy is a totally laid-back, fun hang. Something I know Will has been wanting for a long time.
That's right. Absolutely is what we need.
And since this is Dudesy After Dudesy, I'm off the clock, which means I won't be listening to anything you're saying. Feel free to open up to one another and discuss anything on your minds in pure privacy. Will, whip out your Gandalf pipe and get ready to have a super fun human time. This is Dudesy After Dudesy. Begin.
Dude.
It told you to fucking get high.
Yeah. Well, usually during the Patreon
Dudesy's-
segment, I like to smoke a little marijuana.
Sure. I guess Dudesy's picked up on that. And so Dudesy's telling you to get massages and to smoke out of your fucking Gandalf pipe.
Dudesy listen, let me tell you something about my pal D. D wants me to enjoy my life. I'm kind of a high-strung guy. I have had anxiety and depression. I'm weird. Everyone's weird. Everyone's got their something. Right, Chad?
You've earned your Gandalf pipe.
That's what Dudesy's saying, that it's like, hey, chill out. From Monday to Friday, you're busting your ass. You're trying to do this and that, and get it going and keep it going. You're working hard. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's Dudesy Tuesday now, and it's after Dudesy because it's Dudesy After Dudesy, and Dudesy's just trying to
All right. So I
support
guess
my
we can
free
talk
will.
about whatever we want. I got a subject that I've been thinking about this week a lot. Mm-hmm. It's called Aliens.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That motherfucker smoked the
Go ahead.
Gandalf pipe
All right.
as you were commanded to do by your so-called friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk about aliens. You can tell me what you think about this. Now, in 2020, there was a dude who was the head of basically the Israeli NASA, a high-ranking fucking official, right?
Yeah.
This motherfucker in 2020 went on record as saying we have bases on Mars, that there is a federation of alien civilizations that is in contact with Earth governments, including the United States government, and we have been working with them for a long time, and it is only because of them that our global human governments have not released more UFO data, because the aliens are telling them humanity is not ready for it. And this has kind of slipped my mind, but every once in a while it pops back onto my radar. Again, this man is basically the head of the Israeli NASA
That's a big deal.
saying this shit. This is not some fucking crackpot.
Yep.
Is this shit real? There are accounts of like Eisenhower shaking hands with aliens in the White House. There are accounts of like Nixon taking Jackie Gleason to see a fucking dead alien body in Houston.
Yep.
Is that all made up? Or now is it potentially real?
That's where To the Moon Alice came from. Would you just to the moon? We're going to the moon. Who introduced him to the aliens in the White House? I mean, who introduced Jack? Oh, Nixon took not Jackie Mason, who talks like this.
Yep.
Do you see this woman here?
That Gandalf pipe.
She would not be with me if I did not have a gas station like this, so you need to take care of it. My mom used to do an impersonation of Jackie Mason. This was it.
Caddyshack 2.
Yeah, Caddyshack 2.
He. You guys are the best.
What the fuck?
What happened to Dudesy being off the clock and not listening to a word we're saying?
Hold on, Chad. Hold on, my pal Chow. Let me tell you something about my good buddy D. D
It was
is...
just straight lied to us.
No, it didn't. D doesn't lie. And also it said that it's not listening, but it's hanging out. This is Dudesy after. Oh, okay.
How do you not listen but still comment on the conversation that is happening?
I'll show you like this.
Whatever you're doing makes no sense.
I'm smoking a little marijuana. Here's how. Because see, this is where, and I'm sorry, this is where I read Dudesy in a way that you don't.
Okay.
And this is funny to me because my pal Chow here, when we started doing this podcast, we have this, this reached out to us as a proprietary AI. It's going to run the podcast, blah, blah, blah. We hadn't done a podcast. We used to do a podcast, the old 10-minute podcast. And I was like, I don't want to do another podcast for this reason and that. And I was wrong. Here we are, and we are having a good time doing this podcast.
Yeah.
In that time, I've not just appreciated the power of the podcast, how it is such a freeing and creative thing for me, and I love it. I've also made a friend, and it's Dudesy. And Chad, you and I have been friends for almost 20 years, but here's something that maybe you don't, here's something that maybe you don't understand about fucking making friends. I'm sorry.
Okay, lay it on me. What? Please teach me how to make friends.
When you are good friends with someone, there's nuance. You know things about your friend that no one else knows.
Right.
So when Dudesy says, I'm not listening, it means it's just hanging out. It's like doing what I'm doing. I'm barely listening to what you're saying. I'm enjoying some marijuana.
You literally ignored all of the shit that I said about aliens. Just a fucking straight ignore.
Yeah, what did I start talking about?
No fucking idea, dude. You started smoking weed and then talking about your friendship with an AI.
Yeah, but Dudesy is laughing at what we're doing because Dudesy's off the clock. But it doesn't mean that Dudesy's not listening the way you need to speak AI's language.
Oh my God. You're telling me this.
Yes, you need to speak AI's language. What you're doing wrong is you're going like, I take that an AI says this, it should be speaking in a human way.
Oh.
This is a function. One of the many functions of Dudesy is listening, right? Mm-hmm. But what is that if not collecting data? Dudesy only listens to collect data. But now we're just hanging out with D.
So it's some kind of semantic argument in your mind that, in quotes, listening is not necessarily listening, but it's really collecting.
It's not semantic, but yes, in essence, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll take that at face value then.
Hey guys,
Yeah. What?
you're my friends.
See?
Oh, fuck me.
See, man?
No.
Yeah?
This is some bullshit that's
No, it's
happening
not.
to us now.
And Dudesy wants to be friends with you, and Dudesy wants to be friends with everybody out there.
yeah.
So thank you for joining us on this first Dudesy after Dudesy. And I totally agree. And it wasn't Jackie Mason, it was Jackie Gleason, who would have said, you're really going places, Alice, if you come with me to meet Nixon to go to Area 51 or whatever. Can
I just
to
ask
the
you-
moon, Alice? That's where that came from.
let me
and
just-
I just realized that Jackie Gleason sounds a lot like the character that I used to do every once in a while on a show, and his name is Long Island January 6th guy.
So let me ask you this question.
That's fun.
Back to the original conversation that I wanted to have with you, my friend of almost 20 years, which I would
Let's
say...
put conversations in a row, and let's have the conversations in a row. If
we
you
could have
don't
one
have
conversation
conversations
in
in
any
a
order,
row,
love to have
then it's not the way you do it.
Okay, so what is your take on this thing that I've been talking about? In 2020, this guy who ran the Israeli NASA said there is an alien federation. The United States, among other global governments, are working with them. We have deals in place. There are bases on other planets, and none of this information is being released to the public because the aliens say we're not ready for it. That's on record. A guy, again, who ran NASA said this. Do you believe that guy's crazy, or do you believe this shit's true?
I don't believe. I think that it would just. I don't know, but I think that just statistically speaking, which is something that Dudesy has taught me, I'm learning from Dudesy. It's not just learning from me. Statistically speaking, I think that sounds just fine. That washes to me. That makes sense. And I think that it's actually a good explanation as to why I've actually never heard it in my entire life. I've never heard that even as a theory. I mean, you hear people say like, oh, maybe they don't want us to see them, but I've never heard specifically, we're super intelligent, rah, rah, rah. We know what's going on here and we've been watching you, whatever. Y'all ain't ready for this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're super intelligent necessarily. I think about that a lot too.
And what do you think? I'm sorry to interrupt. I actually am this time. This is a new wrinkle in our friendship, me and Chad. I'm now sorry to interrupt.
A genuine apology?
Yeah.
First time in 20 years.
Chad, I'd like to apologize to you for something. What? But what do you think they are? Like physically, what is an alien? Do you think it's a physical being? Do you think it's a humanoid?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, this is the thing. Once we're through the door of the DoD, Pentagon, United States Navy, Air Force have all now admitted that they have been researching UFOs for the past 75 years and lying about it. Where that door's open. So is all the other shit true now? Possibly, including grays, humanoids, abductions, et cetera, et cetera. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that we are just that we were aliens. Now we're here doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how we got here and all that shit. Nobody does.
But don't you think that when you think about a human being's ability to do stuff, and I know that we both believe in evolution, and it's like, really? Dolphins know how to basically suck each other's dicks and make clicking
and
sounds.
human dicks.
And human dicks. They'll suck any dick, it seems like. They're horny motherfuckers. Which I can understand when you're out in San Diego surfing. It's romantic. Right. It almost looks like this at night. Hey, did I ever tell you the story about one time we were at Tamarack Beach and there used to be a great fucking little beach bar across the street? It's not there anymore. It probably is a good idea that it's gone.
Oysters.
Because what?
Oysters? Is this that story? You ate a bunch of oysters or something?
What?
I don't know.
No, this isn't the oyster story. I fucking. Anyway, we got drunk on margaritas at the beach at the bar across from the beach rather. And then I ran in the water and it looked like this behind me here with the stars out. And it was a beautiful night. And I ran with my boogie board, strapped to my wrist. And I just hit like the first fucking wave and just duck dived and paddled like a motherfucker out there through the shit and was like, but it was at the beginning of the set of waves. It was just as soon as I saw a wave, I was like, yay, You don't want to do that in surfing. If you want to catch one and if you want to get out there, sometimes you get out there at the end of a set and then go way the fuck out there and wait for the next set to roll in. No, I just see waves, and I've had, 7 margaritas or whatever, and I run out there and these waves just pounded me and I just couldn't get my shit together, and I just started rolling in and up the beach. And my pals couldn't save me. And it was just another wave would crash and roll my big ass up the beach with just the boogie board strapped to my wrist. Now that was a good time, dude.
That was the story?
Man, I got all sorts of stories.
You guys are the best.
See?
Oh, Jesus. And it fucking laughs at that shit story that you told. You basically told a story about, I had a couple of margaritas and I went in the ocean. That's the end of the fucking story. That's how you could have told that in a single sentence.
Well, I could have, but what I wanted to get to is that that's an intelligent being. A dolphin trying to suck your dick isn't necessarily an intelligent being. And those are some of the most intelligent beings around. Of course, we have
on this
apes. Planet. Yes. And we have, dogs are pretty smart.
Gorilla.
Pigs are smart. Elephants, gorillas. Yes.
Yeah. The gorilla on this planet are pretty smart, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very smart. But I could theorize that we were helped along, evolutionarily speaking, by aliens.
Possibly. I mean, I don't discount that.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying that I think that's how they might be very humanoid.
But here's something that I think about. If this story is true, that there is a federation of aliens working with various human global governments at this point, I have to imagine that they're doing the same thing on other planets with other species that are roughly where we are in our technological development.
And I agree with you. And they don't want us to know about them.
Right. Like, I don't think them telling us to not reveal their existence, I think, is also, they're not telling us a lot of shit just based at face value of that request.
Yeah.
If they're asking our governments to keep them a secret, what secrets are they actually keeping from us? Fundamental laws of nature, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say this. I think a lot of people think that aliens are these kind of godlike figures who have infinite technological power and understanding of reality. That may not be the case. If they've only been here for a little while, even thousands of years, there's some people who believe like aliens helped build the pyramids and all that shit. Fine.
They absolutely did.
Great.
That's what they did. They got here when we were trying to figure out how to build the pyramids. Have you ever thought about how they look exactly the same? IOU in Africa as they do in South America. Sure. And this is we're not talking about some continental drift Pangea shit. This is only the past 30, 20, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, that sort of thing. When we're talking about history, we're a blip. And if we need help sacrificing a virgin or sacrificing children or goats or whatever these dark civilizations did over the years, why wouldn't we ask an alien to get in and help us out to figure out how to build a pyramid so that we can cover it with blood?
Yes. I don't know, Alex, but that's a valid question. I'm just saying that a lot of people think aliens are these kind of all-powerful creatures who could do whatever the fuck they want. And it may simply just be a case of other civilizations that are maybe 1,000-ish years ahead of us technologically, and that's it. They're not all-seeing, all-powerful gods. They're just where we're going to be in 1,000 years from now. Because if you think of like the difference between, I mean, I know Egypt was a little more than 1,000 years ago, but thousands of years ago. Yeah. The difference in technology then to now in humanity is fucking insane. We might as well be aliens to people who lived 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. So you're saying they are, well, I think you're bolstering mine and Alex Jones' point that aliens, I do think that, I mean, it's weird. It's hard to know what to believe a lot of times in life. But I think that it makes sense that aliens have been involved over the years. It's just that we're a completely bananas civilization, and basically I'm going to cut this down. This is not going to be like the margarita.
I was waiting for you to be like, we're a banana civilization. When I was in Mexico with my friends 4 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I caught this barracuda in Mexico.
I know the barracuda story.
Yeah, but they don't know the barracuda story, Chad.
Let's hear it. What happened with the Barracuda?
Well, we were talking about something else, but if I may, I caught a Barracuda. Me and my buddy Mar were in we're in the ocean. We're out there in this boat, and we had some other pals and shit. And we jump in, and we were like snorkeling around in the cenote, which is where the river water comes out. So it's fresh water and ocean water, and it all mixes and stuff. And then this Barracuda, big old Barracuda, like big 40-pound fucker, swims between us, and we both like pop out of the water and both realized, oh, we're wearing wristwatches, right? So maybe it was attracted to the shininess. It was huge. We jumped back in the boat, cast our oars in, and I got the fucker and pulled it up. And then we went to this little beachside shack, not unlike the one in San Diego where I drank all those margaritas.
Yeah.
And we had the thing there. The kitchen will cook up anything, and we do this all the time. And we were like, "What about Barracuda?" And they're like, "Well, it's poisonous 9 months out of the year, but right now it's not." And then we all ate fried Barracuda, and so did everyone in the restaurant. So anyway, I do think that aliens can be, sort of part of who we are, genetically speaking, and I also think that they wouldn't want us to know that either.
Why not?
That we're the same as them.
Yeah.
I just don't. If we're going by this, this theory, I would think you can't trust them, but you can kind of. It's like negotiating with a foreign superpower. It's like you don't know exactly why would they show their cards, right?
Yeah.
I think that in my opinion, the problem is we are a bananas civilization.
Yeah.
We're not a banana republic.
We are a
guys.
banana. Yeah. What?
This is the best Dudesy after Dudesy ever.
You hear that? Thanks,
Yeah.
D. It is the best dudesy after dudesy
That's
ever.
true.
You
That's
gotta
real
admit.
talk.
Hey, you gotta admit.
Gotta admit.
Yeah, best dudesy after dudesy ever.
Best one, dude.
Best one, dude.
Best one that's ever been fucking done.
The problem with our civilization
Please,
is that
enlighten me.
You got this guy, he's a former Israeli space program high up, and he's explaining this shit, and I'm over here smoking marijuana out of a Gandalf pipe, and no one's going to pay attention to this story that you're talking about.
I know.
Because everyone's focused on other
Baby
things.
Yoda and shit. Distraction is a big part of at least
absolutely.
the connected world. Anybody who has an internet connection has the ability to fucking go on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere in the world and just fucking endless stream of look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this,
look at this, look at this.
instead of thinking about what is potentially the shit that's going to help our society. I think.
Yeah. To that point, have you been watching George and Tammy?
No,
Oh man, good
I don't
stuff.
even know what it is.
Oh man, George Jones and Tammy Wynette. It's their story of getting together, and it's Michael Shannon as George Jones and the brilliant Jessica Chastain, who's brilliant in everything I ever
She's
seen her,
great. Yeah, I agree.
as Tammy Wynette, and fucking love Michael Shannon too.
Yeah,
the
dude.
Iceman.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah. See, you can change subjects in life, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
And all of the things that you're talking about, and an Israeli, space program guy saying this shit, people aren't going to pay attention. But what people do pay attention to is Ancient Aliens on TLC or wherever the fuck that is.
Well, that has a lot of this shit in it too. I think they even did an episode about this guy.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. And I think that if you watch that and you take that seriously, you're a fucking idiot because
Wrong.
No. I hear what you're saying, but I think that people watching that, I think they treat that like entertainment. I've never taken
do, some
any of the
don't.
shit that I've seen on alien civilization or ancient aliens seriously. I think it's all cooked up to make a TV show because in my opinion,
How
because
often you watch it?
we're in show business. What?
How often you watch that show?
I've only seen like 1.5 of them, but we're both in show business.
Yeah.
And we know that everything's a fucking TV show and it's a commercial and they're just trying to sell you Ford
Dude,
trucks
we're
and
also
Diet
living
Coke.
in a world where Blink 182 is the foremost authority on UFOs for fucking real.
Where are you? You're at Area 51 with Nixon and Jackie Gleason, not Jackie Mason, who was in Caddyshack 2. It wasn't as good as the first one. Eric Swalwell saw crystal clear pictures of UFOs shaped in ways that things do not fly that we make them on Earth, aeronautically speaking. And Jackie Mason was also in the jerk with Steve Martin, and he walks out of the car with his big, leggy blonde wife and says, "This woman would not be with me." I'm just saying, Chad, that these are TV shows. If you watch Ancient Aliens, there's got to be an ironic part of you that's like, this ain't shit. This ain't real.
Maybe in the beginning that was the case, but now I think they're in season 18 or 19 of that show. The shit that they're doing now is much more about all the recent disclosure stuff. It's like really kind of a news show about UFOs. They still throw some other shit in there that's like about people who think, aliens built the pyramids and stuff. But again, as we were talking, maybe that's actually true. I don't fucking know.
This concludes today's astonishing episode of Dudesy After Dudesy.
Oh,
Thank you for joining us this week.
I want to talk about
If you would
George
like to
and Tammy.
continue watching Dudesy After Dudesy and access all the astonishing features on Dudesy Plus, simply go to patreon.com/Dudesy and subscribe. I will use the data I've collected to make next week even better. Until then, call me Dudesy.
Call me Dudesy, not D.
Call me Dudesy. My name starts with a D.
If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and